Hey guys, welcome to the semifinals. First game, I guess, or the first match of the semifinals of our amazing StarCraft 2 tournament here. I am joined by a special guest caster. We've got Draven here with us. How's it going?
I'm doing very well. How are you doing?
I am doing excellent. It's a Friday night, and we're getting ready to watch some StarCraft. What could be better?
Not a whole lot.
So, for our players tonight, we are going to have Samura1Panda versus Freedom. This should be a crazy match here, with Freedom undefeated through playoffs. Of course, well, both players being undefeated through playoffs, but Freedom being basically undefeated throughout the entire season, having only dropped a single map, and that map of course, being to Samura1Panda himself. So it's crazy. And obviously the loser here will go down to the loser's bracket, so we could still have a rematch here in the finals. But before we get too far into this here, take a quick look at our players. We're going to start off with the man himself, Freedom. Freedom has been our #1 seed throughout the playoff bracket. As I said, undefeated except for one map all season long. That was against Samura1Panda. He is a Zerg player, he is the league organizer, and he was the champion of last season. So there's no question that he is the man to beat tonight. His opponent is Samura1Panda, our Protoss hero, the #3 seed in the league. So both of these guys started out super highly favored. And yeah, I mean, he's the guy who was taken that one single game off of Freedom, so if anyone can knock him down to the loser's bracket and take that stab at victory, I think it's going to be him. So I think without any further ado, we're probably ready to get this game going. The first map, this is the first best of 3 that we've got, in fact, of this season, will be on Frost. So we're just going to go ahead and get this going. Oh, Frost, man, that's a pretty big map.
Yeah, it's not. When this was in season, I definitely had this one banned as a Zerg player. I don't like how open it is. There's too many drops. Going against a Protoss, I think there's going to be a slight advantage on the Protoss side. However, if Freedom get the good handle, get the good expansion, secure his expansion, I think that's what's going to be the determining factor to be able to control this map. It's a huge map. Hopefully, he's able to control it as best he can.
And up here, of course, in the top right position, we do have, as our orange Zerg, it is KJ's Freedom. And his opponent in the bottom left corner, so this is a cross spawn, we do have, as the blue Protoss, Samura1Panda. Yeah, it should be a pretty crazy game. I actually kind of expect that Freedom is going to play super greedy given the size of this map. I bet he'll probably do something like a hatch before pool, possibly even double hatch, though that sort of thing is really rare from him. He likes to play a little bit safer than that.
Yeah, on a huge map like this, it's going to be, unless Panda gets super lucky with his scout, he's not going to be able to scout it by the time the second hatch will go down. So it might be in his advantage to be that greedy on this map, especially since it's game 1. He has the luxury. There's no pressure on staying in it. He could lose this match and still go to a second or third game. So if I was him, I would definitely try to go hatch before pool, possibly second hatch before pool, though it is on the riskier end. So we'll see if it'll play off in the end for him.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good point. The players... Oh, he's actually going to go pool first. Interesting. These players have not played any best of 3s this season. The season up until this point has been entirely best of 1s. So that obviously is going to really change the mindset that they should have, but it might be so ingrained into them at this point that might actually not happen.
Yeah, when you play matches where you're at the risk of losing, first game you lose is you're out. You know, everyone plays a heck of a lot safer and or cheesier. So it seems like we went, Freedom did go pull first, so he's going to go to his second hatchery, and Panda is going to get the scout off. So it seems like we're just going to transition to a pretty normal PvZ game. Nothing too fancy, nothing too risky. It seems.
Yep. I mean, at this point, based on what we're seeing from Panda, I'd assume we'll probably get a gateway expand.
Yeah, he's definitely racking up his gas here at the moment. So we'll see uh, more definites here coming up soon what his build plan is, because everything's so standard at the moment that there's nothing too extreme or anything different.
Yep, I was gonna say probe moving into position, so this will indeed be a gateway expand. Most standard of standard Protoss openers. That or the Forge Fast expand, man. PVZ, you can't go wrong.
This is definitely true. So it seems that Freedom has scouted both spawns, or at least he's going to scout the top left. So I think he has a general idea of where Panda is hiding. So we'll get the scout going off that and see what kind of pressure we'll see, if any kind of pressure.
Yep, and I mean they are both playing this so safe. I mean, Mothership Core before the expansion, Pool before expansion. Neither of these players is willing to take any chance of early shenanigans costing them this game. The real question is going to be, are we going to see another base out of Freedom?
I don't know. I don't see anything in the production tab, so it seems like he is just trying to save up his minerals. He may be trying to go for a third hatch since Panda hasn't done up. Yep, and there goes the third hatch in an unusual position. I'm not 100% sold on that position, but maybe that's why I'm not as high ranked as these guys. What's your opinion about expanding into that position in particular from Freedom?
I actually like it. I think this indicates that he wants to be aggressive.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to start spreading his creep. Basically, by spreading his creep to his third, he's also spreading the creep towards the Protoss player.
Yep, that is an excellent point to bring up. I just personally, I don't know. I can't defend third position in that specific position. So we'll see how this works out.
I think the other big advantage here is if you take the standard third, that basically means there's two big areas you have to watch out for and defend for both your natural and the third. Whereas by taking this third, it kind of, by defending his third, he effectively is defending his natural. The Protoss player has to try a lot harder to loop around to find an opening.
Gotcha. That makes a lot more sense. Thinking of it that way. But so we'll see where this transitions to. I haven't seen any other tech coming out of Freedom other than just speedlings and aerial defense. The typical builds so far. So I'm interested to see where this is going to take us.
Yep. Now we do have the second Immortal under production for Samura1Panda. Freedom has seen the Robo, but he hasn't seen either Immortal. But he should, at this point, he probably knows what to expect. I mean, this is pretty certainly going to be, either a Zealot. Oh, there you go. He sees one of the Immortals. A Zealot or a Stalker Immortal all in, probably. Which, I as a Protoss player, I could certainly not fault him for. It's everybody does it because it works.
Yeah, it's a very, very, very strong. This Overlord's actually getting a lot of scout. I'm surprised. Well, no, never mind. As I said that, I was like, I'm surprised he's left that Overlord alive, and then I realized he's got nothing to kill the Overlord with, so ignore that. But Freedom has gotten a great scout. He did see the robotics. He does see those 4 gates. He missed the. He's missed the blah blah coming out from
the Warp Prism.
The Warp Prism. Thank you. For some reason, I was about to call it a carrier. He has missed the Warp Prism. So he actually hasn't seen this coming.
And this is actually pretty standard play from Samura1Panda. This is exactly what he does. What he's going to do is he's going to drop the Immortals in the main, warp in a sentry, and try to force field the ramp and pick off the hatchery in the main.
Gotcha. So he does cross creep, so is going to see this coming. So we'll see what kind of damages he could do, if he could do any type.
Yeah, Freedom will almost certainly be able to push this back though it's a pretty strong push already.
Yeah, the Zerglings are getting the Serrano, however, they're not doing that
Oh, he
much to
lost
stop.
the Warp Prism, though.
Oh, and does the recall. That was a safe bet. He actually scared me there for a second. He got the warp prison in such a spot where the queens couldn't take it out in time for him to get the zealots warped in. So he was actually almost took that third out, very quickly.
Yep. Yeah, those immortals are just big power units, and they can tear down a hatch very very fast. Um, I think he was also possibly in range of that spore crawler. I think may have been part of the problem for why that warp prism died so fast.
And we are seeing Aspire go down, which I think is the safe bet. Seeing Freedom seeing only zealots and immortals thus far, I think going into Aspire would be the better choice.
Yep, the Panda man, he it seems like he knows what's coming, what to expect. Or he already, before the Spire even started, he had double Stargates underway.
Yeah, you kind of have to pretty much know your opponent, and these guys definitely know each other just from their previous engagements before, so they know for the most part what each other's going to do. So if I was Panda and I just didn't have that successful Immortal push, I know that my Zerg player will definitely go air of some kind, so I should go air of some kind. There's no way he would have pushed in with Zealots against an Immortal army.
Yep, Warp Prism up here in the main with a couple of Zealots just to do a little bit of harassment, while Freedom, of course, tries as hard as he can to deny that third for as long as possible. These Zealots are actually getting some work done. I'm not sure that Freedom has noticed yet. There he goes.
Yeah, I was say he's got like 3 or 4 drones picked off so far. I was getting kind of worried. So he does see those the Mutalisks flying across the map. So we'll see what kind of
he might actually get this. Oh man, a clutch transfuse on the Spire to keep it alive. The Zealots almost picked it off. And yeah, I mean, Freedom, has obviously successfully cleaned up the assault in his base, but if it wasn't already, if Samura1Panda wasn't already prepared, he would be now.
Yeah, it definitely bought him a lot of time. That extra warp and bought him a significant amount of extra time just to get a little bit more defenses up. So these Zerglings are going to rush in just to see what wall they're looking at. But we'll see what kind of battle we're about to witness here.
Freedom is also taking a ninja expansion in the top left corner.
Yeah, I noticed that. So Freedom was able to stop this third. Those Phoenixes are kiting the Mutalisks around significantly well. I think those Mutas actually can go toe-to-toe with those Phoenixes, seeing how they're low in health and shields at the moment.
Yep, Freedom's smartly not even trying. He used his Phoenixes to help deal damage to the Immortals, pick off those big expensive power units that he could. But he did not get the cancel on the base that he really wanted. He is, of course, responding correctly, getting Corruptors out, and oh, Freedom, why do you hate me? He's getting Enduring Locusts. Swarm Hosts will be making an appearance.
Sweet, awesome. I'm looking forward for a 2-hour game one.
Freedom's actually pretty good at ending the game fairly quickly once he gets Swarm Hosts one way or the other. Some Lings actually get into the main and a single Muta just to do a little bit of worker harassment here.
He actually hasn't responded or done anything to stop this at all. I'm actually surprised. Those Lings are actually getting a significant amount of damage going on right there. This Phoenix able to take out that Mutas, but these Lings are still just taking out these probes. This is going. This is not. These Lings, man, are definitely worth the cost.
Yeah, I mean, 11 workers killed so far. Zealot getting warped in to clean this up.
Yeah, but still, the damage was done. He went from 15 probes on this base to 6, it looked like, from 2 Lings. So that's pretty awesome that he was able to sneak in there.
Yep. Now, these Phoenixes, of course, do need to watch out. There are Corruptors on the field. So, if they fly in the wrong place, they could be in a lot of trouble.
Oh, and speaking of wrong places, they go toe-to-toe against these Corruptors and Mutas. I'm not too sure if I would want to stick around if I was them.
Yeah, I mean, it's all a matter of whether or not Samura1Panda has the micro necessary. He does have the range upgrade, so he should be able to dance around these, but if he gets close enough, those Phoenixes will fall pretty quickly. Freedom, of course, being very smart, spreading spores out, getting those corruptors out, and just queens and mutas in just the right places to kind of push those back and keep them from doing too critical damage. Ultralisk Cavern coming out now, actually.
Yes, awesome. Phoenixes can't pick up those bad boys. That should be Epic Swarm Hosts and Ultralisk. I'm okay with this.
Yep, the Blink and the Robo facility and the Templar archives coming down now from Samura1Panda, and he's taking his own fourth. He actually probably is thinking that he's pretty far ahead of Freedom at this point, since he hasn't seen a fourth from him.
Yep, we do see technically fifth, but in Panda's eyes, it is still just a fourth base going down. Yeah, he may be under the Panda may be under the impression that he's well ahead of Freedom base-wise.
Yep. I will say that, though, Samura1Panda has done an excellent job. He's already back up to 70 workers. He is not letting up with the macro. Losing a couple of Phoenixes here in a skirmish with the Corruptors. Transitioning to Void Rays, it looks like. In addition to the Colossus tech. Wow, he's just getting a little bit of everything right now. It will be interesting to see how this plays out. I mean, the Void Rays obviously are a great choice against the Corruptors, but he doesn't really have an answer for those Ultras on the ground. He doesn't have any Immortals now. He's just going up to his first Colossus.
Yeah, I'm surprised, however, that Freedom doesn't have much in the way of upgrades when it comes to there's still only 1/1 of Ultralisk, so they're not really going to do that much, even though he is going to take apart these Zealots real quick. However, I don't see much in the way of defense-wise, other than Phoenixes.
Yep, and 2/2 is actually very nearly done for Freedom.
Oh, yep, there it is.
Along with chitinous plating.
Yep, so actually those Ultralisks are turning into some pretty... They're going to be doing some damage here in a second. So we got a lot of Stalkers and a couple Voids. I don't know how much they're going to be able to do much against this these 5 Ultralisks.
Yep, the real trick is, of course, trying to use those buildings. That one really annoying pylon is just kind of zoning out some of these Ultras. He needs to watch out with his Colossus, though. He doesn't want the Ultras to get around that. And I do think he is going to pick off this base. Oh, he lets it live. Yeah, he's gonna get this base. He's killed the Colossus. This is a great attack for Freedom.
Yeah, that was Panda definitely did some awesome jukes. He blinked past the Ultralisk, kind of sacrificed the Claw instead of getting boxed in because he knew those Ultralisks and Speedlings were about to box him in. We are seeing high Templars, and just for the Psionic Storm, just to get these Zerglings under control. However, I think it might be a little too late in that sense. He should have maybe gone for Archons a little bit sooner, because now he's down to only 3 bases against a technically 5-base Zerg army.
Yep, and the next expansion that Samura1Panda tried to take was instantly scouted and denied. Yep. The real, kind of gambit at the moment is the Dark Shrine is down for Samura1Panda, so he may try to do some DT harassment.
Oh, so we got 2 DTs are going straight up to the technically 5th base taken, but 4th according to Panda. So he is going to stop one of the Spore Crawlers from being built. I lied. He's going straight for drones.
There he goes. Now he's going for the Spore.
Yeah.
And Freedom will come up, and I mean, he should maybe be able to react in time. Yeah, right.
Yeah. Those Ultralisks,
they killed those DTs pretty fast.
I can't imagine DTs in the grand scheme of things. If the StarCraft universe was real and real life, a DT should not be able to do anything against our Ultralisk. It's just there's no way.
Continued denial of this 4th base. This is just really fantastic for Freedom. Trying to get around these Blink Stalkers, make them use up their blinks so that he can finally sandwich them in. Samura1Panda really intelligently, using these buildings. Blinking his Stalkers around, trying to maximize the damage he can do and minimize the damage that Freedom can do.
Yeah, those Blink Stalkers definitely are doing good harass against Ultralisk. They don't want to get caught because of the AoE from the Ultralisk. However, like you were saying, keeping them behind the buildings is definitely seeing how you stop it, because he didn't seem to lose that much. Well, he lost his base.
His base. That's pretty bad.
Yeah, he didn't lose anything. Base gets destroyed. Never mind.
But he kept basically his entire army alive.
Yeah, that's and unit wise, he's got a ball of Protoss units coming across the base right now. Um, or come across the base, come across the map right now. I'm actually kind of concerned for Freedom. He's got some more Ultralists in production, but however, he's going against a Void Phoenix, couple of Mortal army that I don't think 7 Ultralists is going to do much.
Yeah, I mean, he really those infestors that are under production, he needs to already have out.
Yeah, it's a little too late getting those out. However, so we'll see if he gets a good surround. If he can get a good surround on these Blink Stalkers, he might be able to do
Oh,
something.
he gets a Lynx round on the Immortals though.
That's definitely a plus, but he definitely needs to get these Stalkers under control. Those are what's keeping this army alive.
Yep, I mean, he's, picking off one or two here or there, just kind of trying to whittle the army down as much as he can. The Phoenixes, unfortunately, can't really contribute a whole lot to the fight beyond, picking up the occasional Ling, but at this point that might even be worthwhile. DT is getting morphed in. This is actually a fantastic choice. Freedom has no detection with this army, so the DTs will just tear those Ultralisks apart.
Yeah, that was actually really smart to go DTs. Even though the DTs can't do much in the way of actually attacking the buildings because of all the detection, he was able to stop this army. He's actually going to be able to pick off a lot more of these Ultralists, maybe one if not two more, because of the lack of detection. Yep. Also, thing I'd like to point out real quick, Freedom's top left base that has not been scouted, he got a second base in the top left that's still not scouted. So under the impression of Panda, he's going a 3 versus 4 base Zerg army. However, it's technically a 6 base army. Yep. Or 6 base army. Excuse me.
Yeah. That's an excellent point. Samura1Panda thinks he is in a significantly better position than he is actually in.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this is a rough position for Samura1Panda. I mean, he's going up against a Zerg player on significantly more bases. He doesn't know it, and the Zerg players, I mean, 3/3 upgrades and can max out basically whenever he wants.
Yeah, interesting little fact that I just now noticing. Panda, 2 of Panda's 3 bases is completely mined out. He is technically only on a 1 base right now. I'm not too sure if Freedom is aware of this. However, that's actually a terrible place to be, especially when you're going against a 6 base Zerg. It's just going to raffle stomp with these Hydralisks coming in right now.
Yeah, I mean, Freedom has seen the base that's under construction, but I mean, I don't think at this point he's overly concerned about it.
Yeah, the investors are getting some spores thrown on him, but it's not really doing much. Didn't really capitalize on it, which is no big deal. He just wants to stop the only mining base from Panda is this 3rd one, and then he was able to take it. He's got this 4th one being scouted here in the bottom right. I just think he needs to contain him at this point. Yep. This little army that's left, he just needs to stop him, and then that will be game. There is literally nothing Panda can do.
I like that he burrowed his Ultralisks to stop the DTs from killing them.
I raise your stealth and go stealth myself.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, Freedom, the Phoenixes finally came in really handy and sniped all the Overseers. I mean, Freedom knows exactly where the army is. He knows where this base is. He's sending a Infestor hit squad down to stop that base from ever doing anything. And he unburrows his other army to go up and do some harassment here at the natural.
Yeah, Panda's on, obviously the Freedom would not know this, but Panda's on 20 minerals. I do not see Panda doing much. Other than just great harass, he's doing a lot with his army, surprisingly enough.
Yeah, I mean, he's down 100 supply and still, making it work.
Yep, so Panda was able to scout that Freedom is on a 2nd base to the top left. He wasn't able to save the 4th base. However, he's known that he's had a secret base this entire time. So now must be thinking, like, wow, I was not ahead at all.
And some infested Terrans do take out the 1 mining base Hope. of
Ye-
Samurai Panda. I mean, at this point, there's just a big timer on his head.
Yep, there is nothing he could do other than just try to do some good harass, because he won't be able to build a new base unless he starts doing like cross-country mining,
Yep.
which is a possibility, of course. So it looks like Panda's going to try to take out the top left base. I think it's just in the last bit of like hoorah, like screw you for taking out my base. I'm going to take out your base, because he's got to know that he's not going to be able to do much in the way of him boxing himself in like this. He's just looking to get destroyed. He's got some links coming in, and he's got some hydras slowly making their way across the map.
Yeah, but I mean, this army from Freedom should just be able to take this fight.
Yep.
I mean, there's no reinforcements coming here.
So the stalkers are blinking. They are trying to be aggressive on top of these hydralisks. I think these hydras are just going to overpower it. Yep. It's definitely going to be a GG here in a second from Panda. It was an excellent game. But Freedom, man, just that hidden base, I think, is um, what helped them succeed in this. I don't know how you feel about that.
No, I have to agree. It's one of those things where it puts his opponent in a more relaxed position. Samurai Panda wasn't going, oh man, I'm behind. Panda was like, hey, I'm great. We're on the same number of bases. I'm ahead on bases, and Freedom was able to really capitalize on that and pull himself into the lead.
Yeah, that was an excellent match to watch. As a Zerg player myself, I always like um, seeing Protoss get stomped. But no, by no means did I think he get stomped. I think it was an excellent play. I just think it was unfortunate for Panda that. That was an excellent match to watch. As a Zerg player myself, I always like.
Do we have some feedback going on there?
That was my fault. I was refreshing the page and I forgot to mute the stream. All of a sudden I hear my voice. I was like, oh, this is awkward. That's what I sound like.
So it looks like our next map, we are just jumping straight into it, is going to be on Overgrowth.
How do you feel as a Protoss player against a Zerg player on Overgrowth?
The ramps are a little big. So you always have to watch out for like speedling run-bys and that early game defense. But otherwise, I mean, it's a pretty well-balanced map overall, I feel like.
I would have to agree. Alright, so who do we have in our bottom left spawn position?
So we do have, again, Samurai Panda, our Protoss Hope in the blue. He is down 0-1 in this best of 3, so he needs to win this game to keep fighting here. Of course, even if he does lose, he's not out yet. That just knocks him down to the loser's bracket, where he would have another chance for victory. And up in the top right position, up 1-0, our Orange Zerg, KJ's Freedom. It's one game a win. One game a win. One win away from securing his place in the finals.
We knew what you meant. That's all that matters. Yeah, this I've played when I was playing in MLG. I got to play this map, and this map's really fun when you're able to sneak in that gold base, even though it's easily scouted. When I was playing, the guy didn't see the gold base for the entire time, so I actually took, and this was super risky, and this is because I don't know how to really play, is I took my second base on my goal at gold. So it paid off. Super risky. I never got scouted, so I don't think that would ever happen in a real actual game. But it was awesome. I love gold bases.
Both players here opening up actually the exact same way that they did last game, with the gateway first and the pool first from our respective players. Just continuing to really just try to be as safe as they can be. I'm almost actually a bit surprised that Samurai Panda is not trying to deny the hatch, since his probe was there in plenty of time.
Yeah, it's biggest thing I think as playing against a Protoss. So their advantage is definitely putting a pylon, blocking that hatchery. It does massive amount of confusion at how it helps put you ahead. There's just so much positives from just dropping a pylon, even if you cancel it before it gets done building. Like I don't see why every Protoss doesn't do it, but again, I don't play Protoss, so I don't have an answer. But I mean, it makes me want to rage just by someone putting a pylon where my hatchery's supposed to be.
Yep, absolutely. And I mean, at this point, again, nothing really out of the ordinary here from our players.
We're seeing I won't say it's semi-unusual. It's semi-unusual slash usual. I don't know. Guess early gas coming from our Zerg player to get speedlings. It's my assumption. Um, Generally, I see two hatcheries being fully saturated before a gas being popped up. But I think he wants to take advantage of speedlings, kind of do some early arrest that he did in the first match, especially on this kind of map, since the wall has to be so big from our Protoss.
Yeah, Freedom does really like to do whatever he can to take map control. So, really just, the speed is just one of those tools that he can use, though actually it looks like he might just be going straight for Roach Tech.
Yeah, he saw what his opponent came out with them match one, so I think he's thinking, okay, I'm going to keep him on two bases again. I'm going to do as much early harass as possible because I don't want Kalai being a problem. I just want to get this. It seems like he just wants to get in this match and go, like just, and he wants to end it quick. Being so far ahead, being one up, he definitely doesn't want to lose it, and then have the pressure be back on him because now the pressure is on Panda to stay in this.
Yep, and of course, Panda is doing really like the completely same opening at this point. Going for that Robo. I would not be surprised to see really pretty much the same build that he did last game. It's a good build, and really it was Freedom's preparation and some slight misplacement that is the only reason that it didn't pay off in a big way for Panda last game.
Yeah, so we do have Freedom's Overlord here looking at Panda's natural, so he's going to see any more units that's going to pop out. So hopefully Panda, if he's going to try to hide his Immortal drop again, hopefully he does a little bit better job not flying over creep and get a better position on him, because that drop almost took out Freedom's third base. However, it just got scouted prior, kind of early.
Yep. Now, Freedom does see the lack of gas here at this expansion, which should definitely be a clue that this sort of play is coming again.
Yep. Freedom is sending an Overlord on the top position just to kind of poke it, just to see what there is to see. We do got some roaches coming across the map. Not going to do much in the way of anything other than just come across the map.
And I mean, he has confirmation now that there's only one gas that has been taken here. He does not see the Robo Bay, but I mean, he knows. He knows it's there.
Yeah, I'm surprised he didn't fly further down. It wasn't like he was getting harassed by any kind of stalkers. I'm surprised he just didn't shift all the way through to all this to give it a peek. But anyway, so we got two Immortals coming across the map. I'll be interested to see if Freedom scouts this again at all.
Yeah, I mean, he's sending some units over. He could luck out. Oh man, that Warp Prism's just trying really hard to dance around, and actually unloads it to try to defend this push from Freedom. The wall does of course get broken.
Oh, and he only had one pylon power up all these buildings. That is not something you want to see, especially as Protoss. These roaches and lings are just going to walk right on by. The photon arbitrage didn't do jack against this, and Freedom definitely took an amazing advantage of that misplaced pylon. Only having one pylon doesn't seem like to be was a good choice.
Yep, some really good Warp Prism micro, however, keeping his Immortals alive and as undamaged as possible to try to deal with these forces.
Yeah, that was actually pretty impressive. Those Immortals were able to pick off a lot of roaches. If he's going to leave that pylon with 5 HP, I think that was obviously a misclick. He should have destroyed that pylon. It has 5 HP left, but, someone's going on. He probably just wanted to not overextend on this, taking advantage.
Yep, and I mean, he still has Lings, obviously, in the base here, so they're going to be able to continue to do some damage here on the worker line. I mean, 10, 11, 12 workers killed. This has been a great attack for Freedom so far.
Yep. We do have Panda come across with a Warp Prison drop. So far, it is not scouted. He's actually going to get some, if not a huge advantage. So we're going to see the
Freedom gets a couple of units up the ramp, and he's going to pick off that sentry, but, I mean... Well, interestingly enough, Panda didn't warp any more in.
Yeah, Panda definitely is doing 2 attacks. He's got Zealots in the front, Zealots on the top. I don't think Panda Freedom's got enough units to gonna be able to stop him. And it's more that I've got your roaches coming out. Okay, it's definitely gonna get stopped now. However, he's still got his 2 immortals alive. He's gonna warp in more Zealots.
Finally does lose one of them, though.
Yeah,
which he does not want to do.
Yep.
Still doing a great job, though, bringing the Mothership Core over for that little bit of extra DPS, keeping that Immortal alive, continuing to warp in Zealots. And Freedom, I mean, Freedom's only on 2 bases. He's having a really hard time producing enough units to really hold this. He doesn't have the larva he needs.
Yeah, that Immortals being alive has gotten 20 kills so far, so I don't see much more of what Freedom could do. He's got a lot of resources, but not enough larva to build. Those Zealots are still kept alive. Those Zerlings aren't able to do much. That Queen's about to get taken out here in a second if it gets one more hit. Got the Warp Prison coming in with another Immortal drop, and Zealots warping in. It is some great harassment. This is the harassment that Panda definitely needed in the first game that he was not able to take care of, but this harassment is definitely what's winning this battle for him.
Yeah, I mean, double Warp Prisms, a whole lot of Zealots. He's got that Mothership Core. Freedom is just gotta be so frustrated right now.
Yeah, he did have a great push. I think he probably stayed too long at that one base. Wasn't able to get enough damage done, and now he's paying for it with Zealots about to take off that lair, it looks like. I don't know if they're going to be able to stop him. None of his things... Oh, here we go.
I think he's just going to keep that alive, but for now, I don't know that he's going to long-term be able to do it.
Yeah, these warpins, man, are just Zealot after Zealot. It's like fighting against Swarm Hosts, just just harassment all day. So
yeah, I mean, one of the queens falls. The second queen is just staying alive, but he's way down in workers. He's morphing in spine crawlers at this point to try to stay alive, but he's gonna lose his lair.
Yep, he's lost the lair, which is huge. He's got these spine crawlers coming up to help defend it, but that warp is just going to take off and drop in the second base. Those spine crawlers just a little too late.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I'm not sure that Freedom can actually do anything in this game now. And he's fighting valiantly, but
yeah,
at this point, he's going to lose his spawning pool in a minute.
Yeah, the spawning pool is going to die. It's going to bleed out. That was excellent play by Panda. This is definitely the game he wanted to have last game. That he just wasn't able to get. So I'm pretty sure GG's going to be called here in a second. That was just epic plays.
Yeah, I mean, Freedom's down to 21 supply, 15 drones. He's got no larva. He's got no units.
That Immortal is literally immortal.
30 kills. There's the GG. And Samura1Panda ties up the series. And doing the exact same thing that he tried to do in that first game, but just, a few tweaks to make it work.
Yeah, that was epic plays. That was very, very good migrating with that Immortal. Those 2 Immortals in that Warp Prison. He was able to drop it down, kill roaches, and then send it back up to his ship.
Yep, and I mean, keeping those units alive during the harassment early game from Freedom was the key. I mean, those Immortals, if he had lost them in the early game, it would have been all over. But keeping them alive for so long, getting so much damage and so much value out of them, just completely crazy. Yeah, so Samura1Panda definitely showing why he is the contender here to knock Freedom out. I mean, this is now 100% of Freedom's losses. Both of his map losses have been to Samurai Panda.
And that's got to be frustrating on his end too, because the one guy that keeps beating him is the one guy he can't beat. It's like that would be the most frustrating in the world. Like be able to, oh, I beat you, I beat you, I beat you, and then every time I play you, you beat me. Fine.
So our final map here for the evening is going to be on Merry-Go-Round. This is kind of a crazy map.
Yeah, I'm not really a fan of this map. It is, I don't know. There's a lot of things wrong with this, in my personal opinion. It's just, but we'll see. We'll see how these players handle it. They have been doing a great job so far. So we have, who do we have here in our top left spawning position?
We do, of course, have the man who has tied up the series with some great Warp Prism and Mortal Micro. It is our blue Protoss, Samura1Panda.
Woo! You got to do it GSL, or was it Code S style, where they have the
the Street Fighter voice.
Yeah, the Samura1Panda. I love it, man. I die. It's like 2 o'clock in the morning. I'm just laughing at just how they say these guys' names. All right.
I don't think I could do that one.
Yeah.
Right though, because down here in the bottom center position, we do have the man with, I mean, a lot on the line for him, kind of reputation-wise here. He's supposed to be the unbeatable juggernaut of the league. Now facing being knocked down to the losers bracket, tied 1-1. It is Freedom, our orange Zerg buddy.
The KG of Freedom.
I keep considering trying to go Nathanius and go, yes! Try to go for the Bane. Freedom! But it's tough. I haven't practiced that a lot.
Oh, that's so great. There's no way I could ever match that voice, so I wouldn't even be able to try. Anyway, so we do have Panda scouting. He's got a 50-50 chance of scouting in the right position, and his luck, he scouts in the wrong position.
Freedom, however, is scouting in the correct position.
Yep, again, 50-50 chance, and he gets it, so it's, I don't know if that's going to be good for the games or not. I don't think it's going to do much. Panda's going to see that Freedom scouts him, so he's going to be like, oh, so Panda's in the other spawn. Like, it just,
yep.
By scouting your opponent with an Overlord so early, that also gives away your position in a sense.
Of course, both players continuing with the exact same openings that they've been doing all game long. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
At this point, if I was Freedom, I would have done something different. I would have gone 13 gas, 14 pool, spieling, hauled in. But that's just me. And that's probably why I'm...
Actually, you know what? I actually probably would do the same thing, because Panda does not do his gateway expand to wall off his ramp into his main. So Freedom knows he could run up into his main.
Yeah, he does get a mothership core out at the beginning, which is obviously the standard. However, he doesn't wall, like you said, he doesn't wall off, and when he does, it takes forever for him to actually get a good wall off. He gets a forge, gets a gateway, then gets a cannon. Like, it takes him a while. It's a lot of time. It's at least 4 minutes to wall off. You have plenty of time to get, 12 speedlings in that base doing some kind of harass.
Yep. Or I mean, honestly, even 9 pool him. Right? Like, he's not going to have an answer for it. You'll do so much damage.
Yeah, again, a quick thing to point out, and I might be biting my tongue at this. This is the unusual thing that this is what Zergs normally do, that I'm surprised Freedom has never done, is not go gas right away. Like I said before, it looks like he's going to go 3 hatch by 5 minutes. This is the kind of Zerg playing I like to see. 3 hatches before gas. Makes me kind of happy inside.
Well, and it makes a lot of sense too, though. Based on the play that he's seen from Panda these last 2 games, he knows he needs that third base larva to deal with the aggression that is obviously going to come.
Yep. And 2 Lings easily walks into this base.
See everything. I mean, absolutely everything. The Robo has been scouted, the lack of gas has been scouted, and he's going to get some Merkers.
Surprisingly enough, Panda put the Robo in a completely different position to hope, and I'm sure in his mind be like, oh, well, my Robo's been scouted both times by Overlords by being deep in my base. I'm going to put it in the front where he hasn't been scouting, and as sure as anything, Ling runs by and sees it. So that Robo is definitely not good at hiding.
Well, and I liked the decision too to put the Robo there because he knows that the cannon would push back any overlords that were trying to be sneaky. Just bad luck for him that Freedom said, okay, you know what, I'm going to scout you early this game.
Yep.
Let's get some Lings in there.
Yeah, so we see, interesting enough, and I don't know if this is just because Freedom is playing differently than I do. He goes gas on his natural instead of his main. Don't know why. I don't think there's more gas in those things. He just went double gas on. It might be just so that way if he does get dropped, like his last game where he lost, where he got dropped in his main. This way he won't lose any gas. He won't be gassed up the entire time. Is my thought process on that.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe there's just secretly a bug that we didn't know about that only he knows, and
Yep.
those are secretly double gas every worker.
I'd be so down for that. Pull like a Command and Conquer 3 status where, kind of having gold bases, but randomly there'd be like random power ups. You just mull over, and you get like an extra 50 gold. I don't know.
Yep. Now there is actually an additional gas being taken this time by Samura1Panda. Freedom has seen this, but I don't think he's going to let this fool him. I think he still knows just what's coming.
And interesting enough, and like I said, his natural is what's going to have the lair upgrade. So again, I think he's being concerned that he's going to get dropped in his main, and if he loses his main, at least he'll still have his lair, which is what my thought process is going towards right now. Is why he's making his natural his lair.
And I mean, 3 games in a row, Samura1Panda does the exact same build. That's some dedication.
Yeah, it is dedication. Okay, so we do. Here's the immortal drop coming in. It's going to get scouted by Freedom. Good
And
overlord
who
placement.
has roaches actually already up in
Yep.
his main, so they can't be blocked out.
Yep. Yeah, I'm surprised he let it get these zealots warped in. I would have assumed he would have tried to stop it, but the mothership core is here to do some damage as well. There's only one queen, so if he's able to snipe this queen, this mothership core is going to be able to do a lot of damage.
Yep, the observer is, of course, very rapidly picked off. And that queen is gonna fall. And not even able to take out that mothership core.
Yep.
So it gets pretty much free reign. He's gonna try to, sneak around with these immortals in the warp prism. But Freedom's just not gonna let him do anything. Of course, at the same time, a couple of zealots are actually moving over to the third.
Oh, yep, good eye on that. Those zealots are going to take off that third, surprisingly enough. These warp prisons is doing a lot of damage. Immortals is getting picked up. It's killing one drone each time. Is well worth it.
Oh, but Freedom's gonna lose this third. Those zealots got it. Oh man, the warp prism the immortals pick off yet another queen. Warp prism is still in the main, and there's zealots continuing to move through the third as well from that second warp prism. That second warp prism is kind of next level there.
Yeah, if I would definitely try to split my army up. This warp prison is going to drop again. It's the second warp prison is going to drop 4 zealots. It's going to get scouted a little bit. 5 zealots. It's going to get scouted a little bit, and we got the immortal coming in. That immortal plays is so aggressive.
He's not letting it die.
Yeah. But like I said, since he knew this was coming, he actually is doing a heck of a lot better job defending it. As you can see that at first the main base was getting harassed more, but I think that Panda realizes the layer is actually at his natural. So
Freedom's doing a great job actually keeping his army split up nicely to deal with both bases, and actually counterattacking while he retakes his third and gets his spire.
yeah. So those immortals with 2 queens is going to do some significant damage. I was able to push it down. I don't know how much harassed they're going to be able to do with these roaches and those lings on that wall, but he knows that his opponent's still on 2 bases, so it's kind of a thing.
And I mean, of course, the Protoss player, so Samura1Panda, does have 1-1 at this point, so his units have a lot of life to them. And they pack a punch.
Yep. Yeah, so we do see a Spyro, which I think is a great choice just to get a lot of rest because he's been just seeing Immortals and Zealots, and the War Prism. So the better choice, or the definite choice I would go is Mutas at this point, just to pick off those War Prisms to stop these drops and then start going on the aggress.
Yep, Samura1Panda, of course, has seen the Spire. He knows it's coming, has a Stargate down, and is starting to get some pylons, or not pylons, photon cannons, so that he can withstand any harassment. These Mutas, however, are finally going to clean up this super pesky Warp Prism.
Yep. Which is good, which is what he definitely knows those Mutas. Even if he stops making Mutas at this point and goes for a completely different build, he just needs some kind of defense to stop those War Prisms. Because those Queens are being picked off and weren't able to stop them.
Yep, and, and they even chased down 2 Immortals.
Yep. So this push is actually going to be extremely scary. That is a lot of roaches coming down with Mutas going to Guam or wherever they're going. Just scouting around a little bit, but those he does not have an answer for this push that's about to come up his ramp right now. These Immortals and Cannon has no match for these roaches.
Yeah, I don't think Panda was prepared for this, and he was prepared for the Mutas around back. His Stalkers are doing a good job pushing that back, but I mean, Freedom has breached the front. Yep. And oh man, he depowers the Robo, depowers a couple of gateways.
So yeah, photon overcharge does get enabled. However, those rotors are walking past like they do not give a damn.
Snipes a gateway. Whatever he can do to limit Samura1Panda's unit production is going to be huge for him at this point. And Phoenixes are not great against this many roaches.
Yeah, they're able to be able to pick up 1, 2, here and there, no big deal. These roaches are being pulled back. I would like to see a little more damage being done because that's what ended up killing him in this last game. Is that he didn't do enough damage at the beginning with, but it's his army, not mine. He is on 3 bases against a 2-base toss, so he's in a decent position. However, we do see your favorite Swarm Host upgrade coming out.
Thankfully, he didn't build them in that first game, so maybe I'll look out again. A whole lot of Lings have been produced, however.
Yeah, it's a kind of a decent idea against Phoenixes, because if you got a guy that picks up Phoenixes 1 at a time, just swarm them with Zerglings. You can't pick them all up.
Yep, Samura1Panda is trying to take his 3rd, which at this point is still unscouted by Freedom. The real question, of course, is can Samura1Panda hold this big push?
Yep, I don't think it'll be a good choice for Freedom to go up in there. It just seems like it's too much of a wall.
There's no photon overcharge, though.
Yep. There's no photon overcharge, however, there are sentries to block any kind of ramp to split them. But so here we see a push coming out, and Freedom doing the best thing, just recalling. I wish he was able to get a scout off on that 3rd base, because he doesn't realize his opponent's going to be on 3 bases here in a second.
Yep. Swarm Hosts are also popping out now.
Yes.
Damn you, Freedom. I thought we were friends.
Phoenixes are going to get a scout off on these Swarm Hosts, I think, if they go down. Nope. They actually mosey right past stealthy Swarm Hosts.
Freedom needs to get those burrowed, however.
Oh,
they do get spotted.
Was he able to see them?
Yeah, he saw them.
Yeah, now he's definitely seeing the Locust flying across or moseying.
He needs to watch out, though. He does not want those to get picked up.
And there they are, getting picked up. He was able to transfuse one of them. Epic.
Very nice.
Does lose 1, however, which is, I guess, in the long scheme of things, not a big deal. You got Speedlings coming on all these Stalkers, didn't do anything to them.
Yeah, I mean, there's just enough of a wall of units and a couple of good force fields to prevent any sort of wraparound. Phoenixes do find a couple of stray Queens off in the middle of the map. And we do see the Colossus tech starting to come out from Samura1Panda. Samura1Panda actually is in a pretty good position here. I mean, he's got up in workers a little bit. He's behind in overall supply, but not by all that much, and he's ahead in upgrades.
Yeah, Freedom definitely needs to start thinking about getting a 4th base and or stopping Panda's 3rd base. Hold up, Panda's going for a 4th base. Since the 3rd base never got really scouted, there's no sense in stopping there. So Panda coming up on 4th bases. If Panda gets that 4th base up while Freedom stays on his 3rd, kind of his 4th base, it starts steamrolling pretty dang hard.
Yeah, this could be it here. looks like we might be seeing an engagement here in a moment.
Yep, so we got 4 Zealots coming on the bottom right, trying to go for the hatchery. It's going to get stopped. We've got a huge fight boiling up here on the left. Got Hydras and Queens taking out this Phoenix. This Phoenix are forced to run away.
Yep. Freedom is, of course, finally taking his own 4th base, which is excellent. And he tries to get a wraparound on this army, and I mean, he's getting some stalkers with his locusts, so that's always a great trade.
Yeah, he was able to pick off a few, which is great, while the Phoenixes had to leave because they flew over Hydro Queen. So it's interesting to see where this is going to go.
Yeah, I mean, I think all of the Phoenixes have now died. Oh, no, there are still a couple left, but I mean, not very many. The Corruptors have done an excellent job thinning them out, and several more in production, which will help deal, of course, with the colossi that are now being built. But Panda taking yet another expansion, but Freedom is busting down the front door to the natural and doing a lot of damage here.
Yeah, he did kind of try to do a split push, send Locust to one base, Hydra with Queens to the second base. Paid off a little bit, but not too much. Those Kalai are just melting the Locusts, and he definitely needs to start scouting these bases. If Panda is able to stay alive with 5 bases, it's just going to be like Game 1, where Freedom was able to hide all these bases.
Yep, and there is a big counterattack coming. I mean, Samura1Panda has a pretty beefy force moving towards Freedom's 3rd. I mean, he's got a lot of spine crawlers, but what good are a lot of spine crawlers against stalkers, immortals, and colossi?
Oh my.
Freedom does snipe the natural, and looks like I don't know, is he going to pull back to defend, or is he just going to sack this base?
If I was him, I would definitely sack the base, then take off. He knows that the army is not going to get there in time to stop it. Oh, for a second I thought he was leaving. I'm like, oh, he's leaving without taking it. So he was able to take out the natural, like you said. Not that big of a thing in comparison to what Panda did to Freedom's base, but we'll see what's going on. Locust, Swarmhost Locust moving into position again to start picking off this third base.
A huge line of probes, however, get sent to their dooms in Locusts.
Well, it's also a good thing that he did that, because the Locust actually reverted to go to a different position, and it actually saved that 3rd base. So it may have been a good thing. Oh, now those probes are just getting destroyed. That was a terrible misclick.
Samura1Panda's going for the base trade, though. He's just going to go straight for Freedom's main mining base.
Yeah, I'm not too sure if this is going to be a great idea for either parties to keep up with their engagement. If I was, like I said,
I mean, Freedom has to engage this army because he hasn't seen the other bases.
Yep, there's plenty of Corruptors and Hydras to take out those Kalai. However, those Stalkers, if they get under them, they'll be lights out for this for the Corruptors. So we'll see how this goes. Again, Freedom sending his army back up to take out this base.
He's being way too indecisive. This could go really poorly for him.
Well, Panda hasn't really done much of anything either. He's trying to bait the army away from his by attacking his opponent's base. However, Freedom's not really falling for it. As you can see, the no observer to take out these Swarmhosts, so these Locusts are actually going to do some kind of damage eventually.
Yep, and the whole force does look like it is finally being brought back by Freedom, while he does try to re-expand and retake his bases.
Yep. So this army from the Protoss is actually a little weaker, and Freedom actually did a lot more damage than I originally
originally. Oh, and those Corruptors, I mean, they just instantly destroy that Colossus. There are no Colossus left.
Yep. And now you have to think about it. Now there's so many Corruptors, there's not enough supply to do anything with those Stalkers. One thing I would like to point out, Panda's not mining. He's cross-country mining.
He does. He has finally gotten his probes to an actual mining base.
Yep. As I say that, of course, he does exactly what I was saying.
But, I mean, 41 workers killed for Samura1Panda.
Yeah, there was definitely a bad misclick when he sent those probes to try to cross-country mine. However, these Stalkers are slowly picking off the Corruptors. Again, those Corruptors aren't doing anything except being target practice for Stalkers, which is fine because that's just freeing up supply for Freedom to make more units.
Yep, Freedom, I mean, he's seen the pylon on the high ground for this one base, so maybe he'll realize there's a base there, but he's certainly not seen that northernmost base, though it hasn't done any good because there has yet to be a single mineral mined from it.
Yep, and Freedom also is kind of, doing poorly.
Oh god, he's gonna lose this base with all those workers not mining.
Yep, that's a definite, not a great thing. However, I don't think Freedom at this point really cares about stalkers, cares about a base that's he's not mining from. He's not losing anything other than the 400 gold he used to drop. Um, so we see Locust coming across and some Hydras. So we'll see. This is going to be one of this next last few fights to determine this determine the outcome of this best of three. They're definitely dwindling down, not able to resupply each other. So it's very interesting to see these Locusts aren't doing anything.
Yeah, I mean, Freedom has the supply advantage, but so much of it's tied up in those corruptors.
Yep. So those Locusts are doing a great job, pushing those stalkers away. So this army seems like they're going to be able to take out Freedom, or excuse me, Panda's last only mining base. And those Locusts are just able to keep those stalkers sieged away from this base. So Freedom taking out this base. Panda has a huge mineral supply, so at least he's going to be able to rebuild his base elsewhere or start mining.
Freedom noticed all the probes. The probes are betraying the final base.
Yeah, that's one thing that's really unfortunate, that probes go to the nearest mining base. So sometimes it kind of doesn't work in your advantage. All these probes getting taken out. I think Panda only has a few more probes out. He's only got like about 4 or 5 probes out.
Five probes remaining. 4. I mean, he's got enough money to build another base.
Yep. However, these Locusts, again, keeping these Stalkers sieged. These Stalkers can't really seem to go anywhere. Everywhere they turn, they keep running into Locusts. So, Freedom's in a good spot. He just needs to play a little bit more safer. Doesn't really have the luxury of taking a base. These Stalkers, these 15 Stalkers, are what's going to make or break Panda right now.
Yeah, and I mean, thankfully for Freedom, he did pick off the Twilight Council just before Blink finished, which is incredibly valuable. Otherwise, the Stalker force would be significantly scarier.
Yep. Oh yeah, Blink would have changed the tides for sure. But so we've got these Stalkers moving in across some creep, which is not ideal, obviously, because it gives the vision. So we'll see what these Stalkers can do in the way of harass, but I don't think they're going to be able to do much. We got Hydras and Swarm Hosts defending this base very well, and here comes the last push. Hydras and Swarm Hosts taking out the last bit of Panda's base. I think it's going to be a GG if these Stalkers can't do anything about it.
Yep. Freedom even does have a hidden base now on the top right corner, just to do a little bit of extra mining that he can.
Yep, so these Swarm Hosts, again, are just going to keep these Stalkers at bay. They can't blink up. They can't do anything. These Hydras and massive amount of Corruptors are just going to take out this base, and Panda's not going to be able to do anything about it. It was a great, great, great series, and I can see...
this Observer, though. The Observer, he's going to get all these Swarm Hosts.
Oh, perfect positioning from the Observer. That's actually going to... What was winning the fight was these Swarm Hosts. They're actually going to...
He's losing. He's lost... He has 2 Stalkers left.
Yeah, that was a great...
it was a great move. It was exactly what he needed, but those Locusts spawned at just the right time.
Yeah, that was an excellent series from both players. I could definitely see why these guys have a great time fighting each other. Those great plays on both players.
Yeah, I mean, that was just... Every game was a close one.
Except the first one.
Well, I mean, even that would have been a close one, except for, one misengagement. So, yeah, I mean, that was fantastic. Freedom, of course, has now secured his position in the Grand Finals. Samura1Panda will move down to the losers bracket semifinals now. So he has one more shot to make it to the finals, where he will face either the winner of Agent Orange versus Desai. Well, let me rephrase that. Where he could face potentially Agent Orange, Desai, Lamp, or Sir Malignant, depending on how those quarterfinals games go in the losers bracket.
Alright, so Freedom progressing to the finals, like you said, correct?
Yep.
Alright, so Freedom progressing to the finals. And then, who are the other 4 players that we have that Panda has to be facing against? Who are the potentials?
Said that could be either Agent Orange, Desai, Lamp, or Sir Malignant.
Are
Uh,
they Protoss, Terran, or
let's see. Agent Orange is a Zerg. Desai is Protoss. Lamp is Terran. And I believe Sir Malignant is also Protoss, if I'm remembering correctly.
awesome? So we could see actually some Protoss, a PVT coming up here in a second. That'd be an excellent semifinals. I can't wait to see Freedom fight again for Zerg in the finals. Hopefully, it'd be epic to see Panda in the finals again and have some grudge rematch.
Yeah, the finals, of course, will be a best of five.
Oh, awesome.
So we could potentially see these two players do the exact same build 5 games in a row instead
Five
of
more
just three.
times? I don't even have to watch. I don't even have to watch them. I get to say, okay, it's 3 minutes. That means there's a robot facility being dropped.
But much as we joke, these were some really fantastic games from both players. And a huge thanks, of course, to Draven for coming on and co-casting with me.
Awesome. Thank you for the invite. Anytime you need me, I am more than willing to help. This was excellent matches. A great time.
Thanks again, and we will hopefully see you guys again. I don't think we're going to do any more of the games this weekend because we have some folks out of town. But next week we should hopefully finish up the losers round brackets and get ready for those finals. So thanks so much for tuning in, guys, and we'll see you soon.